Greetings, Justice Seekers. Welcome to Justice, Not Justice, Season 1, Episode 16. End of August 2018, and Jeremiah has written off the guardian ad litem, Lisa Bangert, as biased, and she is. So again, I'm going to reflect real quickly at this point about why would she be taking these, like, what's in it for her? That's the question, right? And we've yet to really decide a clear answer to that at this point, but certainly we're beginning to question her prejudice, racial prejudice, her gender prejudice, perhaps. Why is she willing to, she knows everything, and yet she advocates for and takes the position of this, frail looking white woman. That's how she acts. Oh, poor, big scary black man. So you have to start wondering at this point. You really have to start questioning, like, this attorney, this GAL is like, she's got something going on. All right, so September 2018, we're moving out of the commissioner level and now into the judge level of this divorce. And that's how it often proceeds. A judge has to ultimately, rubber stamp everything, sign it, and all that kind of thing. So we're finally getting in front of a judge 9 months later after the divorce has been filed. Finally seeing a judge to hopefully get this thing done. Judge Richard Sankovitz is who this case was assigned to. And on September 13th of 2018, there was a pretrial conference, which I think is the first phase of going to either going to trial or not. And basically what happened was Bangert and the two attorneys for either party went behind closed doors with the judge for a lengthy period of time. And when they came out, the judge walked over, so we're sitting on this side, they're sitting on that side. The judge walks over, not even to his galley or chair or whatever, he walks over to our side and begins to admonish Jeremiah for all kinds of bad behavior that was reported to the judge behind closed doors. This is problematic and troublesome, and is where we start to see the bias and injustice at that level as well. So effectively what happened was they all went behind closed doors, and Bangert and attorney Christopoulos, who was Jamie's attorney at the time, Demetra Christopoulos, told the judge all kinds of lies. And Jeremiah's attorney apparently didn't either refute them, stand up for him, and or attempt to clarify, correct, or present any of the truth to this judge. Because how else could a judge come out of that meeting, walk right over to Jeremiah and begin to admonish and chastise him without that having had happen? So already we know that Jeremiah stands no chance with this judge. It was a fairly, ridiculous order. Nothing much really interesting came out of it at this point. They're talking about the fact that they can't agree on anything, blah, blah, blah. Okay. This is noteworthy, though. The guardian ad litem reports that the children are struggling with their parents' hostility. Aggravating the situation are the hurt feelings they have because Mr. Collins did not exercise placement for months. Now, we already know why he didn't exercise placement. It was because every time he tried to, he got the cops called on him and had restraining orders filed against him. So why is that in here? How is that even being reported like that at this point? They're also hurt because he has a new girlfriend, which again, she is promoting this concept that Jeremiah left Jamie for me, which is not true. I understand the kids don't like, that's totally fine. I get that. No issues there. So, but that's in the order. I mean, that's in the narrative or whatever of this order. These are official documents. So if you take away all of the context and all of the conversations and all of the whatever happened in the courtroom and you look just at the official documents, you start to get a very, according to the courts, a picture of how this divorce is going that is not consistent with reality, but these are the official documents. So for example, if a journalist wanted to look into these claims of bias by a GAL or whatever, just to, they're only going to see this. They're not going to know anything else. These are very important and critical documents. These are things that you can go to jail over. Okay. Part of the order, just silly stuff, not really relevant. But one of the things is that Mr. Collins needs to provide Ms. Collins with his last pay statement and most current paycheck. So just as an aside, throughout 2018, Jeremiah, who works an extremely physically demanding job and has done so for more than 15 years, so his body is really, starting to feel the effects of that, and has been injured multiple times on the job, has been on and off of work comp. He's gotten injured a couple of times during 2018, and he's been working, but then he's not been working because he got hurt and blah, blah, blah. So the income is really unpredictable and unstable at this point. And a note is that prior to this instability, when Jeremiah was working predictably and full-time and so forth, he was making really good money. So again, going back to the original order from March, that before these injuries and things started to happen, child support was set on based on a certain thing. And again, Jamie lied about her income. And so that was, so there's this issue of like, what are people making these, and it's interesting to me that Mr. Collins is being ordered to provide that information, but Ms. Collins is not. And that's, aside from other stuff, basically it. So at this point, we're in the middle of September. Fortunately, Jeremiah and we've realized that he's not getting back into his house anytime soon, as we were hoping for far earlier in the year. We've been living in a bedroom for 6 months now. Clear to us that we need to actually find a place to live. So we did. And beginning in the very beginning of October of that year, we now have a residence, a 3-bedroom residence in a very lovely part of town that the children can now come to, okay? We can start to perhaps proceed to some sense of normalcy and that life is moving on and so forth and so on. For practical reasons, Jeremiah and I chose to live together, and that's where I leave this. We'll pick it up in the next episode, so I'll see you soon.